welcome back to my class. This is Rumana Ali. I hope you all are doing well. In today's class, I'm going to explain you the lesson why do we fall ill. So before we learn about why do we fall ill, let us know the meaning of the term health. So everyone, every living organism or everyone needs to be healthy. They need to maintain the state of health. So the meaning of health is well-being. To maintain the state of health, we need good food. We need to drink enough amount of the water. We need to breathe fresh and clean air, and we need good surroundings. If all such things are maintained properly, then we can maintain the state of health. We can be healthy by ensuring all these kind of conditions. Now, there are different dimensions by which the health can be maintained. So, well-being can be seen in different dimensions like physical dimension, emotional dimension and social dimension. Here, physical dimension means it includes the physical health of an individual. The bones and the muscles, it needs to be strong enough to carry out the different activities. So, in this way, if he is physically fit and strong, then the physical dimension can be achieved. So, emotional dimension means one should have emotional balance, and the interpersonal relationships with the different groups of people or with the others shows the social dimension of an individual. If a person have all these dimensions in a proper way, then he or she can said to be as a healthy individual. So, if one individual possess or contains all these kinds of dimensions in a proper way, then he is healthy. We can say that the person is healthy. Now, because of certain disturbances or because of the different reasons, the health can be affected, and we can see the poor or ill health in the persons. So, in this lesson, we are going to discuss about the various factors that affects the health. Various factors which are responsible for poor health or ill health of an individual. Now, the first factor is personal and community issues. So, if a person wants to be healthy, then he should maintain the personal hygiene. He should take care of his or her personal hygiene. He should take balanced diet, and by following all such kind of things, he can be healthy. But an individual cannot be responsible to maintain its health, as we are living in a society. Society means group of people. So, we are living in a society with a group of people, we are interacting daily. So, to maintain a personal health, the personal hygiene is not enough. There should be clean and tidy environment. So, there is a responsibility for everyone to take care of the safety measures or to take care of the measures in order to provide or in order to maintain the cleanliness of an environment. So, it is a duty of every citizen to clean or to keep the surroundings clean. So, for example, if you are maintaining your health in a proper manner by keeping yourself hygiene, by keeping your environment clean, but if your neighbors are not properly maintaining the environmental conditions, that means if they are throwing the garbage near your house, or if they are letting their sewage water to drain out on the road, then due to the drainage of that sewage water, breeding mosquitoes will arise, they will grow. So, that mosquitoes will spread the infections. In such a way, you can also be suffer from the different infections. So, maintaining cleanliness or maintaining a personal health will not depend on individual. It's a duty of the group of people, society members. So, if the environment is not clean, then definitely there will be a disturbance in the health of an individual. One more example here we can say is how the community is getting affected. So, the cyclones and floods, due to these natural disasters, the whole community will get affected. And if the municipal tap breaks, or if we get a leakage in the municipal tap, and if the drainage water enters into that tap, if the drainage water gets mixes with the drinking water, then that water which is consumed by all the society members will drink that water and it affects the health of all the members. So here not only individual but the community or the society members are getting affected because of this environmental problem. So it's a duty of all the citizens to maintain the cleanliness, to maintain the hygienic conditions and to keep our surrounding clean so that everyone will be healthy by maintaining the cleanliness by the society members. So the cleanliness is not a duty of an individual. It's a responsibility of all the members who are living in an environment or who are living in our surroundings. So this is about the personal and community issues. तो अभी हम बात करेंगे लेसन व्हाई डू वी फॉल इल के बारे में. ये वाले लेसन में हम कई तरह के फैक्टर्स के बारे में पढ़ेंगे जिसकी वजह से इलनेस होती है, जिसकी वजह से हेल्थ डिस्टर्ब हो जाती है. तो पहले तो हमारी बॉडी की हेल्थ को मेंटेन करने के लिए गुड फूड, वाटर, फ्रेश और क्लीन एयर, गुड सराउंडिंग, ये सारे चीज़ों का होना बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट होता है. ये सारी चीज़ें अगर अच्छे से मेंटेन हो जाएंगे तो फिर हम हेल्थी रहेंगे. और डिफरेंट डायमेंशंस होते हैं वेल बीइंग मेंटेन करने के लिए और वो है फिजिकल डायमेंशन, इमोशनल डायमेंशन और सोशल डायमेंशन. फिजिकल डायमेंशन यानी इंडिविजुअल की जो फिजिकल हेल्थ है वो अच्छे से मेंटेन होनी चाहिए. इमोशनल यानी इमोशनल बैलेंस रहना चाहिए और इंटरपर्सनल रिलेशनशिप्स जो दूसरों के साथ में होते हैं वो भी अच्छे से रहना चाहिए. अगर ये सारे चीज़ें प्रॉपरली मेंटेन होंगे तो हम वो इंडिविजुअल को हेल्थी बोल सकेंगे. ठीक है, अभी बात करेंगे पर्सनल और कम्युनिटी इश्यूज़ के बारे में. यहाँ पर अगर हम हमारी पर्सनल हाइजीनिक कंडीशंस को मेंटेन करें, बैलेंस डाइट भी लिए और हमारा पर्सनल केयर हम करें, तब हमारी इंडिविजुअल की हेल्थ हम मेंटेन नहीं कर पाएंगे क्योंकि हम सोसाइटी में रहते हैं. सोसाइटी यानी ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल. तो यहाँ पर एक के पर्सनल हाइजीन मेंटेन करने से हेल्थ नहीं मेंटेन की जा सकती. ये एक ऐसी रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी है जो कि सारे सोसाइटी मेंबर्स को फॉलो करनी चाहिए. यानी एनवायरनमेंट को क्लीन रखने के लिए सारे सोसाइटी मेंबर्स का इन्वॉल्वमेंट होना बहुत ज़्यादा इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर एनवायरनमेंट क्लीन रहेगा तब हम हमारी हेल्थ को मेंटेन कर पाएंगे और अगर एनवायरनमेंट में कुछ भी डिस्टर्बेंस होंगे तो फिर हमारी हेल्थ भी ख़राब हो जाएगी. यानी पूर हेल्थ या फिर इल हेल्थ की कंडीशंस देखने को मिलेंगे. सो दिस इज़ अबाउट द पर्सनल एंड कम्युनिटी इश्यूज विच इज़ वन ऑफ द फैक्टर्स to maintain the health of an individual. And personal health cannot be maintained as individual or by individual. It's a responsibility of all the members. So the society can maintain the health of the different persons. So health is a social issue and everybody should maintain the state of health. They should follow certain measures by which the healthy or the cleanliness can be maintained, by which the health or well-being state of a person can be maintained. Now let us see the factors that affects the health. The major factor that affects the health is community hygiene. If a community fails to keep the surrounding clean, then it affects the health of the different persons who are living in a community. So this is the main factor to maintain the state of health. And the next is food. If the persons are taking balanced diet, then their state of well-being can be maintained. But due to some reasons, because of the different reasons like unemployment or because of the social differences, some people are not getting enough or proper amount of the food and this leads to the malfunctioning of their body. This leads to the diseases in their body. So why the unemployment is the cause for an improper food? Why the people are not getting a proper or balanced diet because of unemployment? So unemployment is because of poor economic standards and because of poor education, and there are so many other reasons. That causes the unemployment, and because of this unemployment, the certain peoples, they are not getting proper or the balanced diet, due to which their health becomes poor and the state of well-being cannot be maintained by these people. So these are the two major factors that affects the health or that affects the healthy life of an individual. So let us study about the differences between the health and disease free. When we see the term health and disease free, we may think that both these terms are same, but in fact these terms are different from each other. They are different. when a person is disease free, so if a person says that he is not suffering from any disease or any disturbance is not there in the system of their body, then he can said to be as a disease free person. But to that person we cannot say that he is a healthy individual, because if a person is disease free but he is not able to climb up the stairs, he is not able to play or he is not able to show his abilities at up to a complete level, so we cannot say an individual who is disease free can said to be as an healthy one. We cannot say this. If a person is able to show all the abilities or all the capabilities or potentials up to the sent person to do the different tasks, then that person can said to be as a healthy individual. We can say that the person is living a healthy life. For example, if a child is free from diseases, that means he is not suffering from any disease, but he is not joining the group of the other child, he is not interested in playing, he is not interested in joining the group of the children's or group of the friends. So we can say that the child is mentally ill, the mental conditions of the child is not proper. So we cannot say that the child is a healthy one. So in such a way, the disease free and the health both are the different terms. Let us take some example to understand about the health or about the state of well-being. So here we can take the example of a dancer. If a dancer is able to bend his body and if he is able to dance in a proper manner, then we can say that the physical condition or that the physical dimensions are in a proper way in that individual. But if a dancer says that he can dance but he cannot bend his body in any direction, then we cannot say that the dancer is a good one. We cannot say that the physical body or physical health is properly maintained. We cannot say that the body is strong. The person has poor health. So in such a way, if a person shows all the abilities and the potentials up to the complete level, then that person can said to be as a healthy individual. And here we'll take one more example, that is musician. A musician who plays flute. Flute is an instrument. So to play this instrument, musical instrument, a musician needs to have a proper and it needs to have a high lung capacity to fill the air. When he is able to fill the air in his lungs, that makes them to play the flute in a proper manner. So in such a way, if musician can be able to show his abilities up to a sent person, then we can say that he is a good musician or he is, and we can say that the state of well-being of this musician is in a proper way. So this is about the health and disease-free conditions. Disease-free condition means if a person is not suffering from any disease, and health means if a person is able to show all the abilities or all the potentials up to a complete level, then that person is a healthy individual. अभी हम बात करेंगे दो डिफरेंट टर्म्स के बारे में, हेल्थ और डिजीज फ्री. ये दोनों टर्म्स डिफरेंट होते हैं. डिजीज फ्री यानी ऐसे पर्सन जिसकी बॉडी के अंदर कोई भी डिजीज ना हो, लेकिन अगर वो पर्सन फिजिकली फिट नहीं होंगे तो हम उनको हेल्थी इंडिविजुअल नहीं कह पाएंगे. अगर पर्सन फिजिकली फिट रहेंगे और सोशली भी फिट रहेंगे और इमोशनल बैलेंस भी रहेगा उनमें, तो वो वाले पर्सन को हम हेल्थी इंडिविजुअल बोल सकेंगे. और ऐसे पर्सन्स जो उनकी एबिलिटीज और पोटेंशियल्स सेंट पर्सन बताते हैं कोई भी टास्क को परफॉर्म करने के लिए, तो वो वाले इंडिविजुअल्स को हम हेल्थी इंडिविजुअल बोलेंगे. अगर पर्सन्स डिजीज फ्री रहे लेकिन वो लोग अपने एबिलिटीज को यूज नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो वो वाले पर्सन्स को हम हेल्थी इंडिविजुअल नहीं कह सकते. ओके, सो दिस इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन हेल्थ एंड डिजीज. इफ अ पर्सन हैज ऑल द फिजिकल डायमेंशंस, social dimensions and emotional dimensions properly maintained, then that individual is in a state of well-being. So we can call that person as a healthy individual and he is living a healthy life. हेल्थ के टर्म को एक्सप्लेन करने के लिए दो एग्जांपल्स लेंगे, डांसर और म्यूजिशियन। ऐसे डांसर्स जो अपनी बॉडी अच्छे से बेंड कर सके प्रॉपर मैनर में, तो वो वाले इंडिविजुअल्स को हम हेल्थी बोल सकेंगे। और ऐसे म्यूजिशियंस जो फ्लूइड को प्रॉपरली प्ले कर सके। फ्लूइड को प्ले करने के लिए, ये एक ऐसा म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट है, इसको प्ले करने के लिए लंग्स की जो कैपेसिटी है वो अच्छी होनी चाहिए। तो अगर फिर इल हेल्थ पर्सन की लंग कैपेसिटी अच्छी होंगे तो वी कैन कॉल देम एज a healthy individual. So in this way, disease free and the health both are different terms. A disease free person cannot be called as a healthy individual. If a person has the ability to show his capabilities up to the said person, then that person can said to be as a healthy individual. And if a person has all the physical, social and emotional dimensions properly maintained, then that person is also a healthy person. So let us talk about the term disease. It's a condition where our body systems do not work properly, or where the different body systems or the different organs of a human body malfunctions. Malfunctions means not functioning properly. So if any disturbance is seen in the functioning of the different organs or in the functioning of the different systems of our body, then that condition is said to be as a disease. And here the indication of the disease can be called as a symptom. So the disease can be identified by the symptoms or the signs. So the disturbance that occurs internally in the internal system of our body, it can be reflected outside through these symptoms and signs, by which we can identify the different diseases. So if we visit the doctor, he first tries to identify the disease by putting some questions after us. So he may ask you that what is the location of the pain, or he may ask you from how many days you are suffering from fever. So all these kind of questions gives him an idea to identify the infection or to identify the disturbance that occurs in the internal system of our body. So the disturbance that reflects outside, they are called as symptoms. So symptoms or signs are nothing but the indication of the disease. It shows or it indicates the type of the disease from which we are suffering. For example, if we got fever, then we can say that some infection occurs in the internal system of our body which makes us to suffer from fever. And if we got vomitings, then we can say that our stomach is upset. And if a person's eyeballs becomes yellow, or if the nails becomes yellow, it can be identified as the symptoms of disease called jaundice. In such a way, the symptoms or signs helps us to identify the different types of diseases or to identify the disturbance that occurs in the internal systems or that occurs in the internal organs of our body. Now let us see what are the different types of diseases. So basically there are two major types of diseases. They are acute diseases and chronic diseases. In simple words, we can define acute diseases as short-term diseases. So the diseases which goes off in a shorter period of time, they are acute diseases. Okay. So here we can take an example of seasonal fever or cold. Due to the changes in the climatic condition, we may get fever or cold sometimes. So we can get rid of this fever and cold within a shorter period of time, that is within 4 to 7 days by taking medicines. So this type of short-term diseases can be termed as acute diseases, and these are the diseases that do not show any effect on the other body systems or on the other body organs. So this is about acute disease. Now chronic diseases are nothing but long-term diseases which stays in our body for a longer period of time. That type of diseases can be termed as chronic diseases. And opposite to acute diseases, these are the diseases that damages the other organs of our body or that disturbs the other systems of our body as well. So here we can take the example of diabetes. Diabetes is a chronic disease. It's a long-term disease. If a person is suffering from diabetes, he has to take medicines daily. He has to follow the different measures to treat that disease. If he or she who is suffering from diabetes, if they do not take medicines or if they do not follow the proper measures, then that leads to bad diseases or that shows that results in the bad effects on the other body parts also. And the other example is tuberculosis. It is also a chronic disease and the symptoms of the tuberculosis is cough and loss in weight. So this disease, the tuberculosis, it can damage the other tissues as well. This disease spreads over the other tissues of our body and it damages the other systems of our body also. So, this is about the acute diseases and chronic diseases. Acute diseases are nothing but short term diseases from which we can get rid of within 4 to 7 days by taking medicines. But chronic diseases are the long term diseases that can stay in our body throughout our life also. And these chronic diseases can cause damage to the other systems or to the other organs of our body also. And diabetes and the tuberculosis are the examples of क्रॉनिक डिजीज. तो अभी हम बात करेंगे डिजीज के बारे में. डिजीज यानी एक ऐसा कंडीशन जहां पर हमारे ऑर्गन्स या फिर हमारे डिफरेंट सिस्टम्स जो हमारी बॉडी के अंदर प्रेजेंट है वो सही तरीके से फंक्शन नहीं कर पाएंगे, प्रॉपर्ली फंक्शन नहीं कर पाएंगे, तो उस कंडीशन को हम बोलेंगे डिजीज. और ये डिजीज को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए थोड़े से इंडिकेशंस हमारे आउटर साइड में देखने को मिलते हैं और उस इंडिकेशंस को हम बोलेंगे सिम्टम्स. यहाँ पर एग्जाम्पल है सिम्टम्स का फीवर. अगर हमें फीवर आएगा तो फिर डॉक्टर इजीली आइडेंटिफाई कर पाएगा कि फीवर इन्फेक्शंस की वजह से होता है. और अगर हमारा स्टमक अपसेट हो जाएगा तो वॉमिटिंग्स होंगे, तो ये है सिम्टम्स. और आई बॉल्स येलो हो गए या फिर नेल्स येलो हो गए तो ये वाले सिम्टम्स है जॉन्डिस डिजीज को आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए. सो दीज आर सर्टेन सिम्टम्स दैट हेल्प्स टू आइडेंटिफाई द डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ डिजीजेस. अभी हम बात करेंगे टाइप्स ऑफ डिजीजेस के बारे में. तो दो तरह के डिजीजेस होते हैं, एक है एक्यूट डिजीज और एक है क्रॉनिक डिजीज. एक्यूट डिजीज यानी शॉर्ट टर्म डिजीजेस जो कि थोड़े दिन के लिए ही होते हैं, उस डिजीजेस को हम एक्यूट डिजीज बोलेंगे. फॉर एग्जांपल फीवर या कोल्ड आना सीजनल चेंजेस की वजह से जो कि मेडिसिन लेने से 4 to 7 डेज में ठीक हो जाते हैं, उस डिजीजेस को हम एक्यूट डिजीज बोलेंगे. और क्रॉनिक डिजीज यानी लॉन्ग टर्म डिजीजेस जो कि हमारी बॉडी में लॉन्गर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम के लिए रहते हैं. थोड़े से ऐसे क्रॉनिक डिजीज होते हैं जो कि थ्रू आउट लाइफ भी हमारी बॉडी के अंदर प्रेजेंट रहते हैं. एग्जाम्पल है डायबिटीज और ट्यूबरक्यूलोसिस. सो दिस इज अबाउट द डिजीज दैट मीन्स द माल फंक्शनिंग ऑफ द डिफरेंट ऑर्गन्स और द डिफरेंट systems of our body. And there are two types of diseases, acute and chronic. Acute means short term diseases and chronic diseases means long term diseases. Here the example of acute diseases is fever or cold. The examples of chronic diseases are diabetes, tuberculosis and many more. So that's all for today. Meet you in next class. Goodbye.